All right. Welcome, everyone. This is my first podcast, season one, episode one. My name is Jill White. I'm the owner of Age Interrupted and also Ruach Reboot. And I am a pharmacist by training. Tell you a little bit about myself. And I got out of pharmacy actually several years ago. I've been doing online pharmacy, functional pharmacy work. I actually have a course where other functional providers, a lot of dietitians, nutritionists, nurse practitioners, some MDs, other pharmacists, PharmDs, come and learn about how to interpret functional labs. Well, I got a calling. Well, okay. I love fitness. I've always loved fitness. Um, and I just had this calling in my life to move from pharmacy, where when I went into pharmacy, I thought that I was helping people, right? This is 25 years ago. I made the decision to go to be a pharmacist. In my mind, I was still helping people in the medical field. We're kind of thought we think that a lot. When we want to help people, we think going into the medical field, healthcare field, something like that. So instead of becoming a physician, I got married, had a baby young, instead of going to med school, went to pharmacy school, really wanted to help people. I've always known that. Even though I've always loved fitness, even as like a teenager, I was doing high school, but taking classes at our local community college and took their aerobics, like aerobics 101, like in the room with the mirrors and the music and the moving, doing the grapevine. And I thought that maybe I would be an aerobics instructor or a fitness instructor on a cruise ship, like while I was in college or in the summers, or I don't know what I was dreaming or thinking about. But my point is, I've always loved fitness. I've done jujitsu, I've climbed a mountain. Um, Anything physical, I was actually in, for my county, I was in their deputy sheriff reserve unit, went through training. So I've always been active. Now, as a side note, I have a couple of really serious back injuries and I have been sidelined. I have been bedridden for months. So like everyone, my journey has hills and valleys, but I love to eat. And so that's where my problem is. And a lot of us, I think, even if maybe we need to work on fitness and nutrition, but for me, it was really the nutrition component. Um, but my muscles and my results have often not shown because of my nutrition and my food choices or the quantity of my food choices, because I would always have a layer of fluff or a few layers of fluff. Um, like maybe many of you here listening now, I just decided enough was enough, not getting any younger, and I need to make some changes. So rewinding a little bit back to coming into fitness, I've been reading some different books, and I have my own like business coach. I also have a fitness coach. Like we all need coaches, right? I have a styling coach. I just love learning from people. I even have a life coach. And they're all online. I've never met any of them in person. So it's like super normal these days to have online coaches and relationships with people. But so I was reading a book recommended by my business coach, as a book by Russell Brunson. And I was reading it last night and he called me out in this book. He said that we often spend too much time strategizing and planning and not enough time doing. And even though I'm kind of in the early stages of going from my online functional wellness business to my online fitness business, I still felt super personally attacked. And he said, we just have to show up. And we just have to show up every day. And we have to connect with people and show that we want to serve and show that we care. And I do care. Like that's the whole reason I went into pharmacy decades ago, was because I wanted to help people. And so, I took his challenge. Here I am, episode one. I read it last night. I'm here today doing my first podcast. And so, yeah, let's do this. Um, so back to where I'm making a change, right? Like I had started, because I've always loved fitness. Last year, I was thinking to myself, how can I be in the gym more? Maybe not everybody has that same concern or thought, but I love being in the gym. I enjoy it. I could just like hang out for hours and hours. And so that's how I kind of started to get down this road of I want to get into fitness. I want to transition into fitness. And so I started on my personal training certification last year and even into this year. And now I've started a new certification to go alongside it called the Strong Formula. And it is created by the husband and wife team who own Strong Fitness Magazine. And she is actually also they have as a business, like a business coaching in the fitness arena. So I have like my business coaching for like any business, and then I have my specific fitness coaching coach. And so they are known for turning moms into fitness models. Like that's their program. And so I'm going alongside them, and with them and with their help, I have worked on developing my own signature program, my own proprietary framework to bring women specifically. And as you know, it's like interrupting age. I'm 45, I'll be 46 this year. And lifting weights is the fountain of youth. I'll just say it like that's the bottom line. That's the golden ticket. There's so much information around that, but if you want like the bottom line, that's it. And so I have developed really just this whole lifestyle framework and want to share it with people. But first I'm going to be the guinea pig. And that's another thing that in this book that I'm reading, it talks about when you develop your own proprietary framework is you are your first guinea pig. You have to prove it to yourself that it works. And then once you see that it works, you then test it on other people. You serve other people and you're testing it to show that, okay, it worked on me. Okay, it worked on these other people. And then you're able to bring it out to the masses. And so you're really here. That's what this podcast is going to be. I'm just going to be documenting the ride, documenting the experiment, documenting my life and how it's going through. So if you're looking for a transformation, come along with me. Let's do it together. And let's see what else. So I'm going to talk a lot about lessons that I've learned, things that I've learned each day. And you'll find that I'm going to do this podcast really Monday through Friday, every single day. I'm going to show up because that's the most important thing is showing up. There's no perfect time. Literally, there's no perfect time. There will never be a perfect time. I can sometimes struggle with timing when it's bad or when it's worse, it's really hard. When it's just bad, you just have to do it. So I'm showing up every day, going to have a podcast, going to talk about lessons that I've learned, things that I've done each day, struggled with, learned from. You know, they say talk about your scars, not your scabs. You know, you don't want to promote the scabs that you're going through, but you want to talk about the scars that you've overcome, the things that you've overcome. But doing a podcast every day, I think you're going to kind of hear both. So as far as the program, so today is day one for my program that I'm putting together and for myself. For myself, it's day one of the program that I'm putting together. That's a better way to put that into a sentence. And so yesterday, like anyone that's starting day one, yesterday, I made sure I went to the grocery store and got the food that's on my plan. And so this is my meal plan. And because this meal plan is focused on the framework that I'm following, some of it was different foods that I'm used to eating. And so some of it was a little bit of, okay, I'm standing in the grocery store, reading the back of the labels, comparing. I'm doing this because I was holding different yogurts. So in my mind, that's what I'm doing. I was looking at the nutrition panel, you know, looking for non-GMO, seeing if I could find a grass-fed something or other yogurt because I haven't eaten a lot of dairy. That's a whole nother, it's a whole nother episode. But my point is when you're starting something new, there's always a learning curve, right? Like I went to the grocery store and like learning what I want to bring home. What do I want as my snack? I have the plan, but then you have to fill it in with the actual foods, the actual things you're going to consume. And so I went there and they were out of the egg white cartons. because I'm going to eat, you know, a X number of whole eggs and X number of egg whites. And they were out of the egg white cartons, you know, the cartons that like are just pure egg white. So you don't have to like waste a lot of egg yolks. And so like I was super bummed about that. I haven't cracked eggs and thrown away the egg yolks and I don't know how long, how many years. And it felt so like backwards to buy a dozen eggs just knowing that I was only going to use the egg whites and throw away the yolks because I have some already at home. I have some farm raised, free range, pasture raised, pasture raised eggs at home. So I knew I would just use those as my whole eggs for the yolks, for the healthy yolks. So I still got organic eggs. And then like this morning I cracked those and threw away the egg yolks and just used my egg whites with my whole egg as well. So that was new. And I don't know, it's just new things, right? When you try something new, you learn new things. And I'm gonna have a new workout program starting today. Like that's one thing about fitness. Like when you work with someone and you're lifting weights, sometimes people expect to have new lifting programs all the time. Like every week you should have a new exercises. And while it's good and I do introduce a new exercise each time, a exercise, right? A new exercise, not all new exercises each time, because you have to master them. You have to get good at them. And so today I'm switching over to my new program. We'll have all new exercises and all new orders, and like that's its own learning curve. And so I'll talk back tomorrow about how that went when I go to the gym tonight. And then I guess my other thing I want to talk about is just getting your meals in because I had gotten so accustomed to kind of intermittent fasting or time restricted eating. And so I'm not used to eating breakfast like waking up and by 8 or 9 a.m. having breakfast. Now that's kind of later for some of you guys. And even me, when I get up at 6, 9 still would be early for me to have breakfast. Usually I've been putting breakfast off till 10 or 11 or so. And now I have a certain number of meals I have to get in through my day, you know, including my post-workout meal that I didn't start cooking breakfast until like after 11 this morning and finished around noon. And so now it's afternoon and I've only had breakfast and I still have, I don't know, three more times I need to eat today. And like that may not seem so bad, but if you think about having to have a time frame from you're done eating a meal and then you have to let it settle and then go to the gym and work out. So there's, you know, at least 2 to 3 hours of time that you're not going to eat from the time you stopped eating to the time you're letting it settle, driving to the gym, getting your workout in, and then maybe within 30 minutes having your post-workout meal. So I only have X number of hours left in my day is my point, and to get the meals in. So it's all learning, it's all new, it's all good. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy to be here with you and to talk through it all. And so until tomorrow, let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to say? That's the only bad thing when I took a few notes that I wanted to talk about. But I guess that's really all. So I'll quit now and talk to you all tomorrow. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. This is Jill White. Thank you for joining my first podcast. It'll only get better. That was another thing he said in the book. Like, you know, it takes dozens of episodes before people actually start tuning in, which is good because maybe you sucked at the beginning. But that's fine. No one was listening. You keep putting yourself out there and eventually you'll be good at it. And then that's when people are starting to listen anyways. So it's all good. Talk to you later.